The first time I ever really understood the power of visuals was the same night that I knew I loved the girl I love. It was our second date, and after taking me through this twisting odyssey of the back streets of Seoul, she took me to a set of dark and dingy stairs. And at the bottom of these stairs was a bar. But before I could get into this bar, there was a large green door. It was a large steel green door, and it had on it one of those kind of latches, you know, the ones that are big enough, just about to open, two eyeballs can look through, maybe past something, like in a prison movie. I knocked on the door. The latch opens. How many? 2. Waiting. And then after 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes, the door duly opens. And inside is the most wondrous scene a 22-year-old boy could ever hope to see. Faces. Faces of all ages and races dancing. Dancing on the dance floor, dancing on the tables, dancing on the chairs, dancing on the bar. And the amazing woman that had brought me to this place took me by the hand and led me out onto the dance floor. But she kept going, past the dance floor, past the bar, straight to the DJ booth. And she picked up from one of those small little pots that's next to the DJ a singular Sharpie pen. Are we going to be doing music requests? Yeah. But first, let's leave a memory that we were here. So what she did is she started on the table in front of us to draw. I mean, it was a very simple doodle, a line drawing, but for some reason, the image, and I still can't understand to this day why she did it, the image that she decided to draw, her muse, was me. I mean, it was undeniably me. It had my hair at the time, my glasses at the time, my chin. I mean, there was no way that I could plausibly deny that the person that she was drawing was me. And after she was finished with her artwork, she handed me the pen and she said, "It's your turn." What an incredibly pressurized situation to put a 22-year-old boy under. A 22-year-old boy who at that time is only influenced by 2 things, hormones and alcohol. My mind races and flashes back to when I was 14 in art class. And I remembered nothing because I didn't pay attention when I was 14 in art class. The smart kids in art class did their history homework. But I did remember one thing, her MSN Messenger avatar. Remember MSN Messenger? No? Okay. Her avatar was Lazy Cat 0117. So given this set of circumstances, I did the only thing I could. I drew a generic picture of a cat. There you can see it. It's 3 circles, 3 triangles, and 6 or 7 lines. Now, fortunately for me, she found this funny. She laughed. And really, really luckily, in that moment, the image that I drew said more about me than my words ever could have. And more importantly, the image that she drew showed me how she saw me. What the 2 of us had done in this moment is shown just a little bit of visual creativity. By getting the right image at the right time, we had had a strong emotional effect on each other. Little did I know that night that this combination of right image at the right moment would have a huge effect on my career. Over a decade later, I'm still with that same amazing woman, and I've left behind a career as a technical writer. I literally proofread manuals for toilets. And I now lead a team that builds visuals for some of the largest stages in the world, stages where the right visual at the right moment helps an idea flourish and take off. It's an amazing opportunity that I've been afforded. But it's been while trying to execute on this opportunity that I've come across a concern. You see, We as a people are obsessed with the literacy rate. Politician after politician, stretching all the way back to the 1980s, has held up the literacy rate as some kind of indication of their success. But what about visual literacy? What about learning how to read and write images? Where are the mass teaching programs for visual literacy? Google the term, and you will find, underneath the Wikipedia entry, one page buried on the Toledo Museum of Art's website. And while institutions like the Toledo Museum of Art are fantastic spaces where we can learn about the knowledge and the power of images, attendance at institutions like these has been steadily falling for the last 20 years across the US and most of Europe. Meanwhile, the world that we live in today is more visual than ever before. Yesterday, 95 million images were uploaded to Instagram. Up and down Silicon Valley, the biggest companies and the brightest minds are engaged in a battle for your attention. And they know that the way to win this battle is visual. You see, it's all to do with how your brain works. Believe it or not, you are built to see the world visually. 30% of your brain is dedicated to deciphering images. That's larger than any other segment. It's why cavemen did cave paintings. It's why road signs are not written out in text. Studies show that my chances of you remembering the stuff that I'm saying today increases by as much as 50% if I can get right visual with the right message. And it's this combination of right visual, right time, right message that people are already using to manipulate you. They're using it to get you to do things. What things? Take, for example, Netflix, a company so successful that they practically invented the concept of binge watching something. The folks at Netflix can affect how much of a series you will watch based purely off of the first image that they use when you browse through the browsing experience. They've gotten so good at doing this that they can adjust for your age, your gender, your location, your cultural, even your racial identity. So what? Who cares? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to make me watch the Adam Sandler movie for 30 minutes? It's a disaster, but it's not really the end of the world. What if I told you that the folks at Netflix had found that the things that influence your decisions of how much of a series you're going to watch are things like faces and the expressions on those faces, and whether or not those faces belong to people who are portraying actors, who are portraying villains or heroes? I would say that if a facial expression or an archetypal, even stereotypical role is affecting how we consume something, it's affecting how we see the world. And this combination of right image, right time, right visual is affecting more than just how you consume popular culture. In 2010, Facebook carried out an experiment for the congressional elections. And they found that by accompanying messages like this one, designed to provoke you to go out and vote, by adding in images of your friends, they were able to inspire more than 340,000 people to go out and vote who otherwise would not have voted. The result of the 2010 congressional elections? The biggest swing in seats since the 1930s. Facebook admits that in 2016, over 10 million people were exposed to images like this one. The power that these images are happening is not purely down to the visual, but we can clearly see that the right image at the right time or the wrong image at the right time can literally change the world. The good news, and there is good news, the good news is that you can affect a change. People are already affecting a change. Take, for example, Getty Images. This is the single biggest library for images that people use in things like websites, newspapers, publications, anything for commercial use. And these images that you can see along the bottom of the screen is a timeline. Each one of these is the most popular image in their library for the search term woman. This is the most popular image from 2007, moving along to 2009. You can see that we're going further and further along until we get to 2017's image. Remember, these are the most popular results for the search term woman. Notice the portrayal. We've gone from a woman being someone who lies placidly on a massage table, draped in nothing but a towel, to someone striding across a landscape, fully clothed. She even has a hat on. The truly amazing thing about this is not purely a reflection of the change in demand. Getty were able to affect this change by doing things like partnering with Sheryl Sandberg and creating things like the Leaning Collection. And what they did, by changing the supply, they were able to change the demand. By creating better pictures that portrayed women in a better way, they were able to change the pictures that we used and consumed. Remember, it's worked. These are the most popular images for those search terms. They affected a change. It's a change that you can duplicate in your own lives. But where do we start, David? There's no huge mass learning program for images. I don't know as much as Getty Images know. How am I supposed to do that? Well, I believe that the secret for how we get better at visual literacy is the same as how we've traditionally thought about getting better at conventional literacy. How do you get better with words? You read more. You start by reading. So let's start by reading. Let's go to art galleries and exhibitions. It's bad enough that attendance at these places is falling for the last 2 decades. What's even worse is statistics show that the amount of time you spend on each image is as low as 17 seconds. So let's not just spend more time appreciating images. Let's spend a lot more time appreciating images. I know that it's not just down to you. We need the gallery exhibitors, curators, and owners to improve what they're doing. So if you're listening out there, do it. The last time I went to a major museum of art, the adult tour was so pretentious that I switched my audio guide to the kids one. And I had a wonderful time. Why? Because the art was explained to me in simple terms. I'm a technical writer, remember, simple terms that I could understand and with genuine, heartfelt enthusiasm. Then, once you've taken the time to go out and read more visuals, it's time to write more visuals. Stop outsourcing the creation of your images to others. Where to start? Well, millennials, you could start here. Did you know, millennials in the room, that in your lifetime, you are statistically speaking going to take 25,700 selfies? In the last 12 months, I'm a millennial too, in the last 12 months, we have spent 52 hours getting ready to take selfies. That's not sending the selfie, that's not editing the selfie, that's preparing to take it. So if we're going to spend that much time, why not spend a little bit more of that time, not just thinking, does my hair look good? Is this the right angle for my beautiful bone structure? And thinking about, how does this image portray me? How does this image portray the other people in the picture? How do I want the people who are looking at this to feel? The second place where you can spark your visual creativity is emojis. This is the first ever set of emojis created in 1999 for pages. Remember pages? Me neither. Today, there are over 300 emojis in popular use. You know what I love about emojis? They help us overcome boundaries. Take, for example, the boundary of language. My sister-in-law's English is terrible. My Korean is not a lot better. But thanks to emojis, we can have a genuine, heartfelt, warm goodbye. This is a genuine transcript of a conversation we had the last time I went to see her in Korea, and she dropped me off at the airport, and then I went through customs. The truly wonderful thing about emojis is that the library expands. It expands based off of your usage of them. The more you use an emoji, the more likely it is to stay in the library. And the more likely similar emojis are to come into the library. It's how we've ended up with emojis like this one. The last place where I challenge you to spark your visual creativity is memes. Memes are awesome. They're an awesome way. They're like a gateway drug into visual creativity. Why? Because they're easy. Someone else provides the image. You just add the message and the timing. Meme generators are free to download, and you can start anywhere. Start with your friends' Facebook feeds. I do it to them all the time. They hate me for it, but it's good for my visual creativity. But before you dismiss memes, it's just coincidentally, not important, all right, they're funny, but what are they going to do to the world? Consider this. This is a meme. This is a meme that cost people their lives. This is a meme that saved lives. Now, I can't guarantee you that by going out into the world and producing your own images, you're going to be any more successful, either financially, socially, however you want to measure your success. But I can say with a fair degree of certainty that you're going to be better placed at interpreting the images that are put in front of you. Why they're there, why that time, why that face, why that portrayal of someone. And how is it that the person who put that message there wants me to feel? So do it. Go out, make your own images. Images are important. Too important to outsource the creation of them to other people, and too effective and powerful to consume them without due care and attention. Your world is getting more visual by the day, and you have a say in how it's going to look. Thank you.